welcome to episode 3 of Little Bobbins Knits. My name is Dani and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Little Bobbins. And I also made a Ravelry group this week and I'd love it if you join. It's called Little Bobbins Knits and we've had some people join already, and I just wanted to say thank you for joining. Thank you if you've introduced yourself. Thank you if you've got involved in any of the conversation. It's been just lovely. So yeah, really pleased, and like I said, I'd love it if you could join if you haven't already. So some more thank yous. Thank you very much to everyone who's been in touch with me this week. It's been lovely to hear from you, and thank you to Dawn, Knitting Wolf from the Wolf Farms podcast, for mentioning my podcast on there. That was a real surprise. And also thank you to Lena, who is Furk Badagak, I'm sorry if I got that horrendously wrong, from A Wee Bit Knitty podcast, who also mentioned my podcast, which was really, really lovely. And they're ones that I watch a lot, so it was really lovely to hear my name come up. So thank you both very, very much indeed. So today I have a couple of whips, but not very many because I've finished some things and some finished objects and a few lovely things that have been accumulated, and I think that's it. So, works in progress. Now, where did I just put that? Good boy. Little Bobbins down here. Come here. Oh, there he is. The postman hasn't been yet today. I was trying to wait until he'd been, but he seems to be getting later and later all the time. So there might be a cut for shouting at the postman. So this is a sock head hat by Mcclure. I've been knitting this for ages because it just sort of stays in my bag. I've knit I think 3 of these hats. I really like them. They're so simple and they're really nice to wear as well. I knit one out of some alpaca and put a pom-pom on the top, and it's my most worn hat. It's really, really nice. I tend to knit them just with 50 grams because I don't need the extra slouch, and sometimes I'll knit socks out of 50 grams if I put in a different yarn for the heels and toes. So it's a good use for the leftover 50 grams if you don't want to make socks out of the same thing twice. And yeah, so this just stays in my bag. I take it into football matches so that I can knit this in half time, or I take it into the cinema so that I can just go round and round and round while I'm watching the film, or late night driving in the car when I don't want to wear my head torch. I'll just knit round and round on this. So it may take some time. It only gets little bits here and there, but I just thought I'd show you today because I've been working on it quite a lot. I was up to the rib part, and then this week I've knit that much because that's a half time at football, 4 hours in the car, and before I go to sleep, the film. Don't know if you've watched that. I'd love to know what you thought about it. I read the book and really enjoyed it, so I assumed I would hate the film, but I actually retained some of the atmosphere of the film, of the book, I thought. So yeah, if you've watched it, I'd love to hear what you thought, and if you've read the book. Anyway, tangent. So the other thing I've been working on is my blanket. That's a new one. I got this, I think probably about 3 years ago at Unravel at Fun and Maltings. That's my favourite knitting festival. It's just brilliant. And at that time, I think it was 3 years ago, I was knitting the Beekeeper's quilt, of which I have 70 hexapuffs, and that total hasn't grown in a couple of years. But it's nice to be able to put the yarn in here. Then this one is the socks that I've just finished for Mum out of the Knitting Goddess yarn. I love that one. I think they're new, they're just random little mini schemes that I had. And those three along there are new as well. They are stolen from Big Balls, both of those. And this is leftovers from my Eden Yarns Gradient knee-high socks, which I love. So it's really nice to be able to put some of the yarn in there. So yeah, I was working on that as well this week, and that's all of my works in progress. I haven't even got socks on the needles, which is just weird. My family just don't get that I'm freaked out that I don't have socks on the needles, but it's freaking me out. I can't work out which ones to knit next. I don't know what yarn to use. I'm having a complete decision paralysis moment. So I'd love to hear if you have any recommended sock patterns. I'd love one sort of simple, like Hermione's everyday socks that I can use with variegated, or like the monkey socks. I really liked those too. So if you've got any go-to sock patterns that you just love, you don't have to think about too much, you just enjoy them, then I would love to hear what they are, because I am so stuck. I'm sort of thinking I might try the blueberry waffle socks out of some rainbowy type yarn that I've got, but that decision paralysis, I haven't cast on any. It's very odd. And I have done a heart on the Knit Your Love shawl that I'm knitting out of the Eden Yarns Gradient for my mum for Christmas, but it's one heart, so it looks remarkably similar to last time. So as I've got a complete lack of works in progress, I thought I would show you my knitting notebook, because that's technically a work in progress too. Now I love stationery, so anytime I can combine knitting and stationery, I'm very, very happy. Postman. Bobbin! Oh, he's just having a grumble. So this year, instead of just solely keeping notes on Ravelry, I decided to also do a notebook with all of my notes in as well. I did one last year, but I decided to make it a bit more exciting this year. So here's my notebook. It's lovely and bulging, which excites me. I remember when I was little, I used to go through notebooks. This is so sad. I used to go through notebooks and scrunch all the pages up and then flatten them back out again so that they'd make the notebook really thick and make the paper make a nice sound when you turn the pages. And I haven't done that in this, but it's got the thick look that I like. So what I've done is I've written notes about whatever it was I knit. I've done a little yarn wrap, so that's the yarn that I used, just wrapped around a card. And I've added in some photos, usually just lifted from my Instagram. And I've put in the ball band. And I've put in all the sort of pertinent information that you'd fill in Ravelry, like needle size and pattern used and things like that. So, it's fine. Oh, that's for the follow your arrow. Oh, this is quite cumbersome to show. Follow your arrow mystery knit along, the Isolde Teague pattern. And I love putting in photos of all the different stages, which is why Instagram's so great, because it encourages me to take more photos, because I love seeing other people's. It's like a worldwide virtual knitting group, isn't it? I love it. So sometimes if the pattern's really short, I'll just scribble a few notes in there. So that's the monkey socks that I knit with a stash addict yarn. Just dropped something or another. And I like putting the little yarn wraps on because of the different textures So that was a little lamb lovey that I crocheted for my cousin when she had a baby. And I put in, this is a chocolate wrapper. It was Rose Otto chocolate. Oh, and it was so delicious. And I was eating that while I was knitting these socks, so I thought I'd put them in there too. I need to find more of that chocolate. It's just divine. So I've also put in cross stitches that I've done. So it's not solely knitting, it's all kinds of crafts really, but mostly knitting because I mostly knit. And I've put in bits about festivals that I've been to, so that's Unravel, and the things that I bought, so that I can keep track. And it's nice to remember when you're using something where you got it from. And so, and this one's really handy because it's got pockets in it, so you can put in all different bits and pieces. That's a picture of Kiefer Sutherland. I'm a big 24 fan, so Mum picked that postcard up for me, and for some reason it lives in my knitting journal. And then the booklet that came with my circa counter, which I absolutely love. That's a brilliant little gadget. I love gadgets. And then I can put in spare pictures in these little clear pockets. Spare pictures or ball bands of yarn that I've started using and then changed my mind about. This is the page for my Audrey and Unst cardigan that I was wearing yesterday, last episode, and forgot to mention. It was the Audrey and Unst by Gudrun Johnston, and I've put in the ball band, a little yarn wrap, and I actually knit this to wear to a wedding, and that was the dress I bought for the wedding, so I thought I'd put a picture of that in there too. So I thought that'd be quite fun, and I like these ones. That was the Vertices Unite by Stephen West. So I've put in pictures of the different stages of building it. So that was such a fun pattern. I really like that. And then all the different yarn I used. And this was all from Stash, which is, I love when you can knit from Stash. There's something very exciting about it. Obviously buying new yarn is really exciting, but if you can put together colours and make something exciting from your stash, I just think it's so rewarding. So that was a hand spun. That I must have had for probably about 10 years. That was hand spun. That is Drops Alpaca that I knit a cardigan with earlier. Oh, I started it last year and finished it this year, and that was from my Audrey and Unst cardigan. So it's really fun having that sort of tactile reminder, I think, in the yarn wrap. And that's another one by Stephen West, so that's Lumpy Space. And I love seeing all the colours together. That was another, I think that was a Stash one too. So, and then pictures of my sock scraps blanket, and pictures of mini schemes that people have sent me and things like that, that are really nice to remember and keep track of. Pictures of bobbin using wool as a cushion, which I find completely adorable. Oh, these are the knee-high Eden Yarns Gradient knee-high socks that I've mentioned that I've knit into my sock scraps blanket. And it's nice because you can keep a few notes and a lot of pictures, but it's more tactile than just scrolling through your Ravelry page, which is lovely too, but I kind of like doing both. There's my Pebble Beach shawl by Helen Stewart. That was out of some hand spun, and I really enjoyed that project. That was when it was summer, like hot. It doesn't really get that hot here, but it was really hot, and I put that outside to block, and it must have dried in about 5 minutes. It was incredible. And that's my few little bits and bobs that I got from Fiberies this year, and I've made a little pocket to put in business cards that I picked up. I don't know if you can see that. And things like that. So yeah, I need to update it with a few more things that I've been doing lately. Gosh, I just realised the time. But yeah, I really like keeping that, and I love stationery. Any excuse to write stuff down or stick stuff in is good for me. So, moving on to finished objects. I finished these. These are really hard to hold on to, these sock blockers, because they sort of wiggle. They're just outlines. But these are the Hermione's Everyday Socks by Erica Luda. And this is out of the Sarah's Texture Craft Sparkle Sock in the Harlequin colourway, with the lovely golden frostings that you can't really see. But yeah, I'm really pleased with those. They're for me, so I'm very excited to wear those. I love how the heels come out. It just looks so beautiful in that colour. Really like those. And yeah, for those I just did the standard Eye of Partridge as opposed to the modified Eye of Partridge that's in the pattern. And I also finished these socks. These are my sock blank socks. And they kind of match. And I had enough yarn, which was exciting, because I was getting to the end. I was getting to the toe and I had like a 1/2 inch strip of yarn left. I honestly didn't think I was going to have enough, but I did, so yay. Now these, well, okay. The sock blank had a section in the middle that I took out because I wanted them to sort of match. And that was this. I thought that I'd wash this because I wanted to relax all the twists and turns, because I wanted to knit a square in my blanket. And it ran just hugely. I've never had any yarn run so much. The water was just this really deep turquoise blue, and it's changed the colour. I don't know if you can see, but this was orange and it's now sort of it's still got a sort of pumpkin colour about it, more in real life than I can see on the screen, but it's not orange like it was anymore, so the colour did really, really run. So I was really cautious when I was going to block these, because I didn't want to lose the yellow. So instead of putting them in some sort of tepid water with some jasmine scented eucalyptus, which is my current favourite, oh it smells so gorgeous, I decided to put them in the washing machine. I put them in a delicates bag with 3 colour catchers, and then put in some other dark laundry, and put in another colour catcher, and yeah, washed them like that instead, because these are a present for my mum and I don't really want all of her clothes going blue or pink when she washes them. So not what I'd usually do, and it has meant that the colour has faded a lot. This yellow was very, very vibrant before. It was a really bright sunshine yellow, and now it's sort of nearer to mustard, really. But I still like them. I'm still pleased with them. The colours actually look a lot more vivid on the screen than they do in real life. It has taken out quite a lot of the colour, but the yarn is incredibly soft. This is a Blueface Leicester and nylon blend, and it is really, really soft. So I think they'll be nice socks to wear, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of all the colour running, because it was just, they're not as vibrant as they were, which is a shame, but they're still nice. So my next finished object, see, this is what happens with me, because I knit so many things at the same time, usually have lots of whips going. It means that I finish quite a few things at the same time as well, and then I get stuck in decision paralysis, what to knit next limbo, which I'm currently in. Anyway, so this is my Whispering Pines shawl. This is designed by Molly of a Homespun House, and I knit this in Old Maiden Aunt 4-ply superwash merino in the greyish colourway. and it smells of the jasmine scented eucalypt, which is gorgeous. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased to have finished this. After the palaver that I had with the lace, I ended up using about 3 lifelines or something in the end, and didn't have to go back again, which was nice. I do find that I usually have to go back more if there aren't lifelines. I think knowing that they're there, I don't know if it makes me concentrate more or what, but yeah, so I'm really, really pleased with this. I love how the lace has opened up. It's really pretty. And I love blocking wires for things with picots, because I think I did this with 4 blocking wires and like 5 pins or something, just a handful. And it's blocked out really lovely. And I love the size as well. It really grew in the blocking, which was nice. But yeah, I'm so pleased with that, and I'm really looking forward to wearing it. It's light and scrunchable and just soft and lovely, so I'm really pleased with that one. And my last finished object, I've had this on the needles for a little while, and I did get a little bit bored because it's a lot of garter stitch, but when I saw the pattern I fell in love with it, and I just knew I had to knit it, so I'm really pleased that it's finished. This is a Cameo Shawl, and it's by Paulina P on Ravelry, and it's a sideways knit shawl, so you started here, ended over here, and it's huge. It's so much bigger than I thought it would be. I was expecting sort of a rectangular piece for some reason. I don't know why. Well, things always look smaller when they're on the needles, don't they? And yeah, this really didn't look like it was going to be that big. I had to omit a couple of the stripe repeats because I ran out of this yarn. This is some hand spun BFL and silk blend that I spun earlier this year, I think. And it's quite nice colours. They're sort of jewel toned. Yeah, they're quite pretty. And I striped it with this Drops Baby Alpaca Silk, which I now need to think of a project because I bought too much apparently. And that's a really nice soft yarn. I enjoyed working with that. And yeah, the bottom is just the Drops Baby Alpaca Silk. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how it came out. I like these picots all down the edge. Again, blocking wires were brilliant for this. And I love that lacy portion. This is for my mum, and she's going away this weekend. I really wanted to have it finished so that she could take it with her. Thought that'd be nice, so I'm really glad that it is finished. But it's so, like, I can't even get it all into the shot when it's folded in half. It really is very, very long, which is nice. And I love how all the different sections look. So pleased with that. I can think of lots of different colour combos that would be nice to knit another one, but I don't think I will. It was a nice pattern, and I'm really pleased that I knit it, but it was a lot of garter stitch. So they're my finished objects. I did gather a few nice things this week. So I got a couple of balls of this. This is Sport Weight Regia Adventure Colour, with the intention of knitting socks for Christmas presents. It was in the sale. My local yarn shop always seems to have a room full of sale yarn, and for Christmas presents that's really handy, so that'll be good. And I also ordered this, which is Buffy sock from Juno Fibre Arts. It's the Harmony colourway, and it's a superwash blue faced Leicester yarn. And I had to order this because I found out that Juno Fibre Arts is closing, and it's one of my absolute favourite shops, or indie dyers. I I bought a skein a couple of years ago at Unravel. This gorgeous, it was Buffy as well, and it was this gorgeous speckled tan stuff. It's so lovely. I think they're my favourite socks that I've ever knit. And I've bought other things since, but I really, really love Juno Fibre Arts. I love Asti's colour sense, and just the quality of the yarns is fantastic. So I was really sad to hear that there will be no more Juno Fibre Arts, so I had to pick up one of these. And I also got a fibre braid, because I've been seeing this one in the shop for a little while and thinking, oh, I can't really, I haven't done any spinning, so I don't deserve to buy fibre. But when I found out that there would soon be a time where I wouldn't be able to buy it ever again, there was my incentive. So yeah, I love these gorgeous colours. And this is a superwash merino and nylon blend. It's just a one-off colourway. I just thought that would be a lovely thing to spin. I must get back into spinning. I haven't done any for quite a while, and I'm sort of slowly working through my hand-spun stash. I don't want it to run out, so I think that's everything. Thank you very much for watching today, and thank you for corresponding with me, be it Ravelry or Instagram, or in the new Ravelry group, which is very exciting. And yeah, if you want to find me, I'm Little Bobbins on Ravelry and Instagram. The Ravelry group is Little Bobbins Knits, and I would love to see you there, and I will see you next week. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.